Have you ever caught yourself pausing halfway through the day and thinking, I don't remember feeling this tired all the time? Not the kind of tired that comes from a long walk or a busy morning, but a deep, lingering fatigue that doesn't quite go away, even after rest. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people over 70 quietly notice these changes and brush them off as just getting older. And that's exactly why this conversation matters so much. Because here's the truth most people aren't told. Some body changes after 70 are normal, yes, but others are warning signals. Signals your body sends when something deeper is going on. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. In fact, ignoring them often makes the outcome worse. Today, I want to walk you through 5 body changes that should never be dismissed at this stage of life, not to scare you, but to help you stay ahead of problems while there's still time to do something about them. Let's start with that constant tiredness I mentioned earlier. This isn't about feeling sleepy after lunch or wanting a nap now and then. This is when everyday tasks start to feel heavier than they used to. When getting dressed, walking to the mailbox, or standing in the kitchen drains you more than expected. Many people assume this is just how the body slows down after 70, but persistent fatigue is often your body asking for attention. It can be linked to low iron, vitamin deficiencies, thyroid issues, heart strain, or even dehydration. Sometimes it's as simple as not eating enough protein or drinking enough water, and other times it's your body signaling that an organ isn't working as efficiently as it should. The danger is that when fatigue becomes your new normal, you stop noticing when it gets worse. A simple blood test or small lifestyle adjustment early on can prevent months or years of decline. Another change that often gets ignored is unintentional weight loss or weight gain. Not the kind that comes from choosing to eat differently, but changes that seem to happen without effort. Clothes fitting looser, rings slipping off, or the number on the scale creeping up even though your habits haven't changed much. After 70, weight changes can point to muscle loss, digestive issues, medication side effects, or metabolic changes that deserve attention. Losing muscle in particular is a quiet problem. You may not notice it in the mirror, but you'll feel it in weaker legs, poorer balance, and slower movements. This is one of the biggest reasons falls become more common with age. The earlier muscle loss is addressed, often through gentle strength movements and proper nutrition, the easier it is to protect independence. Then there's shortness of breath during simple activities. Maybe you notice it while climbing a few steps, carrying groceries, or even talking while walking. It's easy to say, well, I'm not young anymore, and move on. But breathing changes are never something to casually ignore. They can be linked to heart health, lung capacity, anemia, or circulation issues. Sometimes it's the body struggling to get enough oxygen where it needs to go. The scary part is that many serious conditions progress quietly at first, with breathlessness being one of the earliest clues. Paying attention to when it happens, how often, and what makes it better or worse gives doctors valuable information that can change outcomes. What connects all these changes is not age itself, but timing. After 70, the body becomes less forgiving when signals are ignored. Small problems don't always stay small. The good news is that awareness is powerful. Simply noticing these changes, taking them seriously, and talking about them openly can slow down or even reverse certain declines. And as we keep talking, you may start to recognize other changes you've noticed but never fully questioned. That's important because once you start listening to your body instead of brushing it off, you give yourself the chance to respond before problems take root. With that in mind, let's keep going, because there are other signs just as common and just as overlooked that deserve your attention too.
As we keep talking, you might notice that once you start paying attention, your body has been trying to communicate for a while now. Another change many people over 70 experience, but rarely talk about, is increasing forgetfulness that feels different from the occasional misplaced keys. This is when names slip away more often, conversations are harder to follow, or you walk into a room and genuinely can't remember why you're there. Mild forgetfulness can happen at any age, but when memory lapses begin interfering with daily life, it's something to take seriously. What often surprises people is that memory changes aren't always about the brain itself. They can be linked to poor sleep, medication interactions, vitamin B12 deficiency, dehydration, hearing loss, or even untreated anxiety or depression. Sometimes the brain is perfectly capable, but it's not getting the support it needs. Ignoring memory changes can slowly shrink confidence. People start avoiding social situations, stop trying new things, and quietly withdraw. But when these changes are addressed early, many people notice improvement, or at least a slowing of decline. Simple steps like better sleep routines, reviewing medications with a doctor, staying mentally active, and correcting nutritional gaps can make a meaningful difference. Another body change that's often brushed aside is persistent aches, stiffness, or pain that seems to linger longer than it used to. A little stiffness in the morning can be normal, but when pain starts limiting how you move, how far you walk, or how comfortably you sleep, it's no longer something to shrug off. Many people assume pain is just the price of living longer, but pain is a signal, not a requirement of aging. Joint pain, back pain, or muscle soreness can come from inflammation, arthritis, poor posture, weak supporting muscles, or even something as simple as not moving enough throughout the day. What makes this especially important after 70 is how closely pain is tied to independence. When pain discourages movement, muscles weaken, balance suffers, and the risk of falls increases. It becomes a cycle that feeds itself. The earlier pain is addressed, often through gentle movement, stretching, physical therapy, or adjusting daily habits, the easier it is to stay mobile. Even small changes like standing up more often, doing light chair exercises, or improving footwear can reduce strain on the body. Pain doesn't mean you should stop moving. It often means you need to move differently. If this conversation is helping you see your own body a little more clearly, take a second to support the channel by liking this video and subscribing. It tells the platform that this kind of honest, practical information matters, and it helps us reach more people who might be quietly struggling with the same questions you are. And if you stay with us, you'll keep getting straightforward guidance meant to help you feel steadier and more confident as the years go on. Another change worth paying attention to is trouble with balance or feeling unsteady on your feet. This might show up as holding on to furniture while walking, feeling dizzy when you stand up, or being more cautious on stairs. Many people chalk this up to weakness or fear, but balance problems often have specific causes. Inner ear issues, blood pressure changes, vision decline, nerve damage, or muscle weakness can all play a role. The danger is that balance problems don't usually announce themselves loudly at first. They whisper, and one day they shout in the form of a fall. Falls are one of the biggest threats to independence after 70, but many are preventable. Paying attention to balance early allows for simple interventions. Vision checks, reviewing medications, practicing balance exercises, and strengthening the legs and core can dramatically reduce risk. Even making small changes at home, like better lighting or removing loose rugs, can make a difference. Feeling steady on your feet isn't about being fearless, it's about being prepared. As you can see, these changes aren't random, and they aren't something you have to accept without question. Your body is constantly adjusting, compensating, and communicating. The key is not to ignore those messages or explain them away too quickly. There's still one more important change many people experience after 70, one that often gets dismissed as just part of life, even though it can quietly affect everything from energy to mood to overall health. And understanding that final signal can help pull all of this together in a way that feels empowering rather than overwhelming.
That final change is one that often hides in simple sight, because it doesn't always cause pain or dramatic symptoms right away. It shows up as changes in appetite, digestion, or the way food seems to affect you now compared to years ago. Maybe you feel full much faster than you used to. Maybe certain foods suddenly upset your stomach, cause bloating, or leave you feeling sluggish for hours. Some people notice they simply don't feel as hungry anymore and start skipping meals without thinking much about it. After 70, these changes deserve attention because nutrition becomes one of the strongest foundations of health, strength, and clarity. When the body doesn't get enough fuel, everything else starts to wobble. Energy drops, muscles weaken, the immune system struggles, and even memory can suffer. Digestive changes can be linked to slower metabolism, reduced stomach acid, medication effects, or changes in gut bacteria. Ignoring them can quietly lead to malnutrition, even in people who eat regularly. Paying attention to appetite and digestion is not about strict diets or complicated rules. It's about noticing patterns. Are you eating enough protein to protect your muscles? Are you drinking enough fluids? Are you avoiding foods because they make you uncomfortable without finding alternatives that still nourish you? What's important to remember is that none of these body changes exist in isolation. Fatigue, memory lapses, pain, balance issues, and appetite changes often connect to each other. When one area starts to slip, it can tug the others along with it. But the opposite is also true. Small improvements in one area can lift the rest. Better nutrition can improve energy. Gentle movement can ease pain and sharpen balance. Addressing sleep or hydration can support memory. This is why awareness is so powerful. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to stop ignoring the signals. If you've recognized yourself in any of these changes, I want you to hear this clearly. Noticing them does not mean something is wrong with you. It means you're paying attention, and that's a strength. Aging isn't about losing control. It's about adapting wisely. Talking to a healthcare provider, asking questions, and making small adjustments can protect your independence far longer than most people realize. Many serious problems don't start with emergencies. They start with whispers that go unheard. Take a moment to think about which of these changes you felt most strongly. You don't need to share anything personal, but if you're comfortable, leaving a comment about what you've noticed can help others feel less alone. So many people go through these experiences quietly, assuming they're the only ones. Your voice might be the reassurance someone else needs. If this video has been helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. We focus on honest, practical guidance for living well at every stage of life, especially when the conversations matter most. And remember, it's never too late to make choices that support your body and your peace of mind. Small steps, taken consistently, can change how you feel more than you might expect. You've made it this far because you care about your health and your future, and that matters. Your body has carried you through decades of experiences, challenges, and memories. Listening to it now is one of the best ways to honor that journey. Here's to staying curious, staying aware, and living with strength and dignity at every age.